The year is 1600 and feudal Japan is in war. The Taiko, the mighty warlord who once unified the fractured nation, lies dead. In his wake, 5 ambitious daimyo scheme and battle to seize ultimate power and claim the title of Shogun. Amidst this chaotic struggle for supremacy, one man stands out. Lord Ishido. Rising from base peasant origins to the heights of power, Ishido has become the most reviled figure in all Japan. But why? What has Ishido done to earn such universal applause? What dark secrets lurk in his past? How did a low-born daimyo claw his way to the top, and what did he sacrifice along the way? In this video, we'll discover the layers of the ruthless Lord Ishido, and also how his thirst for power poisons all he touches, and how his unchecked cruelty make him the architect of his own downfall. Welcome and let's begin. As a boy, Ishido looked up to the Taiko as proof that even a peasant like him could lift himself to great heights. As you know, the Taiko was a powerful warlord who unified Japan after centuries of civil war. He was also born into a peasant family, but through his own skills and determination, he rose to become one of the most powerful men in the country. Ishido saw the Taiko story as an inspiration. He believed that if the Taiko could rise from humble beginnings to achieve greatness, that he could too. This belief fueled Ishido's ambition and drove him to succeed. However, Ishido's ambition was also fueled by a deep-seated resentment of the samurai class. He had experienced firsthand the prejudice and discrimination that peasants face at the hands of the elite. Ishido was determined to prove himself to be better than the samurai, and he saw power as the only way to do so. As Ishido rose to power, he became increasingly ruthless and manipulative. He was willing to do anything to achieve his goals, including betraying his allies and resorting to violence. Ishido's quest for power ultimately consumed him, and he became the very thing he once despised, a cruel and oppressive tyrant. But Ishido's story is a tale about the dangers of unchecked ambition. When his ambition is fueled by resentment and a desire for revenge, it can lead to a path of destruction. Ishido's quest for power is gonna lead him to his downfall. As he alienated the people he sought to rule, the Ishido story is gonna be a tragedy. But as Ishido climbed the social ladder, his ruthless ambition became increasingly apparent. He used his cunning and lack of scruples to manipulate and betray others, leaving a trail of destruction in his wake. No alliance was too scared for Ishido to exploit in his relentless pursuit of power. He became a man driven by thirst for power and vengeance against those who once looked down upon him. Any shred of empathy or humanity in Ishido withered down as he sacrificed everything, love, loyalty, honor itself, on the altar of his dark ambition to seize control of Japan. As we can see in the series, as his Ishido influence grows, so does his rule for underhanded ploys and maneuvers. He becomes a spider sitting at the center of a web of deceit, tugging on the strands to make his hapless victims dance. Ishido manipulates and discards people like pawns on a shogi board, caring nothing for the destruction he leaves in his wake. But here's where it gets interesting, and that is Lady Ashiva. The Taiko's widow also brings the worst in him. She's an ambitious woman who shares Ishido's desire for power. Ashiva despises Toranaga for his role in the death of her father, and she manipulates Ishido into attacking him. Ashida's influence over him is also very significant as she's able to use his ambition and resentment to her own advantage. She knows that Ishido is willing to do anything to gain power. She encourages him to be more ruthless and aggressive, and she helps him to develop his own schemes. One example of Ashiva's influence in him is when she convinced him to kill Sugiyama, another member of the council. As you know, he's a principled man who refused to cooperate with Ishido's plans. Ashiva knows that Sugiyama is a threat to Ishido's power, and she manipulates him into killing him. Ashiva's influence also plays a role in Ishido's decision to attack Toranaga. Ashiva hates Toranaga and wants him dead. She's gonna use Ishido's goals and resentment to convince him to attack Toranaga, even though it's a risky move. But Ishido's plot doesn't stop there. Driven by his vendetta against Toranaga, Ishido moves to even more criminal schemes. In a shocking display of his goals, Ishido takes the council and their families hostage, imprisoning them in Osaka Castle. And Ishido, in my opinion, cares nothing for tradition, viewing the sacred code of the samurai as a chain holding him back. In Ishido's worldview, the end always justifies the means, no matter how despicable. Power is all that matters, and Ishido will attain it by any means necessary. These are all of many moves and schemes that are going to secure him on a strange hold on power. But his reign is one of terror and oppression. He doesn't allow no expression, and as we can see, anyone who dare question his dominion or says no is gonna get killed, like we see with Sugiyama. He refuses to be submitted to his wishes and dares to defy Ishido. He then kills with shocking brutality. In full view of the court, Ishido has then another person that is an actor as Lord Ishido to be easily manipulated in joining, as well as securing that boat to kill Toranaga. But there's also one man who sees Ishido for what he is and possesses the strength and power to stand against him, and that is Toranaga. Toranaga knows who Ishido is, and he knows how to stop him, to match the tyrant. A battle of the many ideas that they both have. And as we can see in those episodes so far, how they plot against each other. Toranaga clearly recognized the depths of Ishido's evil and despised him for this dishonor and brutal way of thinking. However, even Toranaga cannot help but respect Ishido's devious mind. It takes a wolf to catch a wolf, and Toranaga understands that in Ishido, he faced a rare equal. Perhaps the only man in Japan brilliant and driven enough to outmaneuver him. This twisted mutual respect only adds to their better opposed view and make their final confrontation inedible. Yet as Ishido's iron grip on Japan seems unbreakable, cracks begin to form in this carefully constructed facade. Behind closed doors, glimmers of humanity emerge. Brief glimpses of the scars his brutal past left on his psyche. The way a lifetime of being worthless, in his opinion, and a way of thinking, and belittle poison his soul and set him on this dark path. Perhaps in another life, a life where Ishido had been born in the samurai blood that he so desperately craved, and just maybe that he could have been channeled into something great. But as we can see, the path Ishido shows forever becomes his prison. Whatever hurt he once suffered can never be excused for the many cruelty and evil things that he's gonna inflict on others. A tragic past is no blank check for the evil things that he's currently doing, and as you know, Ishido's inability to break the cycle of hate only compounds his sins. Is a rabbit dog too far gone to be redeemed? And this is a beautiful tale of the unchecked resentment that a villain can have, and that is why the character of Ishido is so hated by many, but also Ishido left the wounds when he was little, grow into evil, twisting his own once great potential into something toxic. And that is the many reasons that the character of Lord Ishido is hated. My name is Christian from Beyond Premiere. Subscribe and like for more videos on Shogun, and stay tuned for my episode 7 breakdown. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.